Peace and power, peace and power. Late night class. Early for the West Coast. East Coast, we at 11:01, 11:02 p.m. Yes, indeed, we are here. I thank the universal truth and the absolute laws of nature for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. A divine mind knows, a divine mind shows. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Peace and power to the people of the struggle. As you come on in, know that this is a safe space. Regardless of where we're going to go tonight, this is grown folks class. You are in a safe space. Oh man. This is a space for learning, getting learned up, for educating and being educated, for intelligence, analyzing, using discernment, speaking our perspective truths, or seeking a path towards liberation. If you or anyone you know is in need of anger management, please reach out to me via any social media platform. If you or anyone you know is in a domestic violence, an intimate partner abuse, please reach out. If it is severe, dial 911. The life you save may be your own. As my classroom assistants come on in, as they come on in, y'all know what to do. It is very important. It is very urgent. Okay? Very urgent to make sure that all funding information is in the chat the duration of the class. Urgent. We are at war. We must put a dent in what's going on. Who is in class this late night? We got Angel in the spot. Of course, we got Bliz in the spot. Yes, indeed. Merklo, GB, Ghost, Tierra's up. T is up with us. She didn't want to miss this class, huh? Andrea, what's going on down there in Florida? What up? Cleveland, McClendon, you get a 55. Rick Gatlin in the spot. Molly, Midwest is in the spotty spot. Intellectual soapbox. Salute. Salute. Eric Carlos, you get a 55. What's poppin'? What's poppin'? JLJ, you get a 55. Vitamin Vision. Salute, salute. Salute. Listen, it's late. But again, hey, I have to do what I have to do. Neef Buck. Philly, what's going on? Geechee, peace. Hey, uh-oh. Nave. Cali in the spotty spot. It's late, but again, you know, I have to do what I have to do. I have to do what I have to do. Right? And as always, work is primary. Primary. Okay? Jeff Spark, what up? So, for the last couple of days, I wanted to build and have a very, very engaging and inclusive conversation about men and women, specifically us, melanated men and women, and how we relate to each other. The false narratives versus the actual realities. Many asinine statements have gone viral. And I believe that it is up to those who have been fully engaged in both sides of the spectrum when it comes to these statements that have been made. Before I get fully engaged in class, I have to let it be known that I have not only traveled the world, but I have been with many different women, different ages, usually older, different economic backgrounds. Again, not only do I have some college with me, I'm an Army veteran. I lived in Europe for 2 years. Been behind the wall for 10. And before that 10, I did 2. Been in the entertainment industry. Been in social work, boots on the ground, dealing with domestic violence. So when it comes to, and let's not forget, successfully, up until this point, successfully married for 30 plus years. So when it comes to the subject, I'm very, very well versed in it. Very well versed in it. It's not no off the cuff shit here. So as you engage in the chat, okay? As you engage in the chat, feel free to question, okay? Feel free to shoot your questions because this is a safe space. And while you're here, listen, make sure it don't take you nothing. We all got iPhones, whatever. Flip your screen, share it on your page, on your Facebook, on your IG, wherever it's at. We must get some clarity to some of these viral moments that's been floating around for the past couple of days, and again have lended to the split between our women and our men. A split that is not necessary and, rather damaging. So, let's get to it. The first moment, if I'm recalling right, the initial moment was Tyler Perry in an interview speaking to women, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm paraphrasing, that you should love a man where he is at. And women were very much triggered. Okay? Triggered. All this relationship podcast stuff is just a flavor of our. Maybe vitamin vision, but let's be clear that when people are emotionally triggered by a conversation, we have to assume that they will manifest, right, these responses in how they live on a daily basis. Okay? All right? And in a sense, he was saying that if this man can only pay the light bill and you, as a woman, are the breadwinner, okay? And able to do everything else, that if he's a good man and he loves you and he treats you good and he's taking care of everything you need to be taken care of, that this is somebody you should be with. And again, let me say, from what I've been hearing, what I've been seeing, from TikToks, from comments, from conversation, women were in an absolute uproar. And I'm trying, and best believe when I say I'm attempting to figure out what was the uproar for. Because on the flip note, when the man is the breadwinner and the woman is either paying the light bill or nothing at all, you seem to not have a problem with that. So let's get into it. Let's get into the meat of it. And meet somewhere where we can have a progressive build dealing with that issue. Now, I know it's only 52 in the building. Don't get quiet. Do not get quiet. Because many, and I'm talking about many women, and I know for a fact in my class, they have the numbers. Their numbers are up. Trust and believe they are taking care of themselves and others. So I know for an absolute fact that you can speak from a position of experience. Now, I've been on every angle. I've been a stay-at-home dad. I've been a working partner. I've been in a space where I made more. And then I've also been in a space where I made significantly less. And I want to get a very clear understanding of the issue that women had with him saying that. Because the statement was very clear. And we know he down with Gripper Gang J. We know, but he has an audience. He has an audience, and the statement was said. Now, And we know that he's not speaking from that position. That's what we can assume that. We can assume that he wasn't, laying up while a woman was bringing in all that bread. Okay? We can assume that from his story, his press bio kit and all that. We know his story, from Louisiana, this, that, and the third, worked his way up, homeless, doing small little shows, and grew and did what he did. As far as relationships, everything that he spoke on was dealing with, trauma from abuse and things like that. We know very little about him personally, but even in that, why were women so triggered by someone who's not an expert in marriage at all? At all. Okay? He also made someone a single mother, too. He made somebody a single mother. He have seed out here. They got a little Tyler Perry running around. You seen her and the seed? Oh yeah? And he down with grip again? So then, okay, if we bringing this to the table, why were you so upset? Let's get to it now, because the same thing kind of applied to Mr. Harvey, right? Someone who's utterly failed numerous times. Can't keep a woman. Okay, Andrea. Vitamin Vision. I know money has always been a factor in relationships, but it's never been this bad. When do you think it started going downhill? It started going downhill in the 80s, predominantly with the crack epidemic. And that's something that I witnessed. I witnessed as men in our communities were strung out, became custies, was crunching, smoking crack like feverishly, or hustling crack and getting sent up to prison. Our women, though many were addicted, others excelled. It left a large gap, and women took off in the workforce. And in them taking off in the workforce, they were also head of these households that didn't have men in it. And that gave certain themes and language that these kids of that epidemic grew up in. And the women took charge and watched their mothers hustle, suffer, excel, become degreed, and follow that example in large numbers. And while that was moving, we saw doors open. And with those doors opening, they were able to be utilized and weaponized, in a sense, to destroy any unity, family units when it came to our people. So that's how we got to where we are right now. And of course, as our enemies do, say, oh, hold up. While this is here, we can utilize this. Because their family structures were never broken. When they choose to go left, they're ostracized not only in the family, but in their community. So they get completely and totally shunned. And in witnessing that, most of them and how they are socialized within the structure keep themselves up. They'll take a custody and allow them to get their shit together. Whereas once somebody has fallen by the wayside, right, because of the conditions that we go through in our community, there's almost never any return. You've seen it. You've seen what they did with Robert Downey Jr. He was a custody. Terrible. Smoked out. Finished. Done. And they allowed him to become Iron Man. They allowed him the grace to get his shit together and become Iron Man. Do you understand? When the last time you seen one of us have a career, become a custody, and then bounce back? It's rare. It's rare. They don't get that opportunity to come back. So that was the destruction. That piece right there was a heavy piece, along with everything else that they used to weaponize specific phenomena within that, right? You dig what I'm saying? In the mix of the crack epidemic and Reaganomics, right? And then infiltration into our faith-based institutions and nonprofits and the prison industrial and complex becoming an industry within itself, you see it's all targeted on the black man. And once that happens, and industries begin to close, auto industries close down, right? And then other spaces where we were able to earn and function because of things that we created on our own, right? The livery cab, gypsy cab, which was predominantly black, is gone now. They have allowed other nationalities to come take that away. And that's systematically. That's not something where black men just gave it up and were lazy. No. Systematically, they allow certain individual groups to get licenses and things of that nature. So that is what lends to where we're at right now. But I want to make this clear, since we are dealing with this specific statement. White men, right now, white men outnumber black men as stay-at-home dads today. Today, most white women, there's a large majority of white women who are financially head of household. And if you're in New York City, you can see it. If you walk through certain neighborhoods in Brooklyn, you see the white stay-at-home dads with the children or the dog. If you are in certain sections of Manhattan and Queens, the more well-to-do neighborhoods, you see the white stay-at-home dads with the kids and the dog. You understand? So this conversation is only being looked at in a negative manner when it comes to us. We are quick to demonize ourselves based on the initial standards of white folk. If we are conscious, if we are woke, if we are studying, okay? If we are really studying, none of this that we are living under, none of this that we are existing under holds any morals or values that we lived by. Therefore, the standards that we or they are putting on themselves is backwards. It's very backwards. Because when you ask these women, what do you want? What do you deem as a successful man? If they cannot come up with a standard or value or moral that they didn't inherit from the Europeans, then they have to check themselves. Sit them down, ask them why, what, who, and how. And they will stutter or give you a standard based on what the Euros put in play. If you are judging your man based on the standards of what white folks say is success, then you will never have a man. Same as a man. You will never have a woman. You just won't. So when he's making that statement, and in reality, if you look around and you see those people who have been together, who are together for a decade and a half, right? You will see that the exchange that keeps them together has little to do with finances. When you throw finances in it, there's very few couples that are equitable, because that's just not how it is. It's just not how it is in the terms of employment and economics, unless they both working in Chick-fil-A. You understand? There's certain institutions where men and their salaries outweigh the women. You have other spaces where women were predominantly ahead of the men. So if we're going to use finances as the guiding light, as the be-all to end-all in a relationship, then you're going to always have an issue. You're going to always have problems. Because money comes and goes. Employment comes and goes. So if you setting, if you're using that, if you're using finance as a means to determine whether or not an individual is best suited for you, you're going to have a rude, humbling awakening. Because when it comes down to the fabric of a relationship and the things that keep people together, Shit. Money's not even nowhere in it. It's not. It's not. Where does Jules, where is the partnership? What is the foundation of that partnership? When we're dealing with relationships and we're dealing with it with an end goal to marriage, right? When the end goal is marriage, and boy, that is the most difficult piece. That bond. We said it in class before. The hardest, the most difficult thing to do for a man and a woman is to love each other under an oppressive society. That is the most difficult space to be in because neither one of you own yourselves. So if you're coming from a place of trauma, if you're coming from a space where we have historically felt the sting of the worst, from people being fired and losing employment because they showed black unity and love on the workforce, treated unfairly in schools, beating, lynched. This is our history. So immediately we are taught that it is a crime, that it is punishable for us to love each other. Okay? There's a trauma piece there, where there's a space that is consistently saying that everyone is better than you, is better than your kind, that you should seek love and a savior in anything other than your own man or your own woman. It is very difficult because at the first sign of adversity, you're looking for an out. So it's very difficult. But when we're speaking of a man, of men, and of women, we are in a space where no one is raising their children to be husbands and wives. That's a fact. We don't raise our children to be husbands and wives. We raise our children to be good people. We raise our children to stay out of harm's way. We raise our children in hopes that they'll be alive the next day. We don't raise them to be husbands and wives. So these are things that we have to figure out along the way. So when you're looking for a partner, when you're looking for a man, when you're looking for a woman, what was the rites of passage for that individual to become an adult? There is none. We've been broken down to speak a language. We've been broken down to get learned up. We've been broken down to work, to give ourselves and our labor over to these systems and institutions. So when you lay statement like that, it's coming from a very pure place. That man might have been traumatized so much that he said, listen. And he got to his bag, whether it's gripper gang or not. And if he still has the wherewithal to say, love people where they are. Love them how they love you. If it is a good love, it is a healthy love. Damn it, most of my Mac buddies will tell you that. Choose who choose you. And you'll never have a problem. Chase the one that you like and don't like you, and you're going to have forever issues. Much appreciated, Baku. Do we not understand? Yes, Carol, yes. See, Bliz, fund the war effort. This is so important. Fund the war effort. You're not getting this clarity anywhere else. We're not going to play the games. We're going to get down to it. Listen to the statement. Stretch it out. Stretch it out. See if you are alone in this time of your life. And where it's going. And how's it going. And you tell me if you have opportunity to be choosy. I just seen some shit on TV talking about some golden bachelor bullshit. White men, regardless of what age, can be choosy. Can determine whether or not they want to be with you. There are many different components when it comes to choosing a mate. Many components when it comes to choosing a mate. For us, it has always been, who am I going to learn to survive with? Who is going to understand that trauma? Who has been built in a manner of which they are sure with how they're moving? Because, if you still in a space where you believe, if you're still in a space where you're believing someone can make you happy, nah. You need to book some sessions and hear some shit. And that goes for men, and that goes for women. That goes for young, and that goes for the more mature. We're not here to make other people happy. We're not here for other people to make us happy. Okay? That's not it. Not it at all. If you don't know how to make yourself happy, if you cannot find the happiness and joy within yourself, it's not coming from no one else. Damn that. I've been there. I've been there. I've been the breadwinner. I've been the rub your feet every day. I've been the cook. I've been the clean. I've been the supportive. I've been there. And no matter what you do, the person can't find happiness. Just what it is. Some people have been through so much trauma, so much hurt, so much pain that they need professional help. Damn it, if they've been birthed and raised, if their parents can't make them happy, if their siblings can't make them happy, if their God, their spirituality cannot make them happy, who the hell do you think you are that you can come through and fix it? Don't work like that. Don't work like that. So it don't matter if you got 2-3 mil in the bank or if you got 200 or 300 in the bank. Doesn't matter if you are the epitome of the perfect wife or you are the excellent husband. If the individual does not understand that, cannot comprehend that, if their lens don't go past their own trauma, don't matter what you have. Doesn't matter who you are. Because we're still going to be in the same space. And should you be lucky enough to find someone who brings you joy and you bring them joy, we're still in a space where we are oppressed and have to deal with the consistent attacks, financial, racial, spiritual, that we are under on a daily basis as second and third class citizens. You still living through those fears, anxieties, and things that this whole damn nation revolves around. At the end of every contract, at the end of every fine print, in any bylaws, it's against your black ass. And when you realize that, you hold that. That shit is in your soul. That's in your soul. So how can you find true love and joy and happiness if you too don't recognize the awareness and the knowledge of self to understand that we are in it and we have to be in it together? You can't put a dollar amount on that shit. That only comes from perfect struggle and the understanding of each other's struggle. That's why you got so many people with nobody. Because you haven't been raised up in it. You've been putting these people's standards, you've been putting these people's values, you've been having wishes and wants and dreams of being those people into your fabric, into your diet. So when you're looking for a mate, when you're looking for somebody to love on, you're checking for them before you can even understand who you are or who they are. That's going to always be your issue. So if he didn't say it right, or if he didn't articulate it the way that it's coming from here, because he's not in that energy. Which is why I say, shit, I work hard at this. because I have a true love for my people. Because the only way we can get up out of this is if each of us have that knowledge of self. Excuse me, I always say it. My belief in you is that energy pack. That's what gasses me up. Regardless if or you believe in yourself. So when we're listening to this chatter, and that's all it is chatter, because again, they can consistently go viral with the bullshit because it is something that when you hear it, it stirs turmoil. And in that turmoil, we begin to attack each other and make an attempt to stand firm in that belief of selfish confusion. No, this is how it is. No. I think got to have some money when he dealing with me. I want you to look around and see. Look around. And show me how many of these men you see on a daily basis that's available to you got some money. I want look around. Look around. Don't sit and get triggered and that initial hit. You're like, no, he can only pay the light bill. He can only pay the light bill. You better look around. Look around and see the conditions of your black man. You'd be lucky if you find one that's decent enough to even want to pay the light bill. And that's for real. That's what the statement was saying. That's what the statement said. That if he has the common decency after being shut out of the world, after being abused, after being in prison, after being called a nigger and dehumanized as a man, if he still can smile and have it in his heart to love you, you're going to turn it down? Then you deserve every empty goddamn bed night that you have. Men that have been beaten down like that don't know how to love. They never saw it. They wasn't nurtured into it. So if you have one who can still look this world in the mirror and smile at this world and take his little $13, $14 an hour gig and keep it pushing and got the decency to want to take care of you the best he can, how dare you? How dare you reject that? That don't make sense. That makes zero sense. You know, especially if you have the intelligence to know and understand what the system did, what these institutions did, what kind of attacks we were under. You know and understand that, and you have excelled in it. Let me find out that we're in a space where we can reject good black men. Y'all really some bad bitches then. You can reject good black man that's willing to love you where you at. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah, you's a special kind of bitch, huh? Must be. Must be. You must be special. Like I keep telling you, I see hundreds of good black women every day. The good dude that you reject definitely has no problem whatsoever. None whatsoever getting with somebody. And that's just the reality of it. The reality of it. So keep playing social media games. Keep talking. Keep having these little fake narrative points if you want to. I'm telling you what's real. I'm telling you what's in these streets. I'm telling you that I am sometimes the only man in a lot of spaces I go to. I can go to Target and be the only man inside the entire store. And that's including the workers. I go into schools and I'm the only man there. In a lot of spaces. Don't keep playing games and allowing people to put some shit in you that you don't even understand. You don't know why you feel like that. You don't know why you believe that. We don't self-think. That is something that we must be taught. Vanessa, what about the women who try to give love, but their man still listens to others with no one at home or even a home to go to? Then kick that flat ass tire to the curb. It's not a good man. And the same for the women. If men, because there's men that call me every day in dire straits, pulling out their hair because they got some demon ass woman that they dealing with who hasn't been nurtured, who is psychologically bruised, and he's still there trying to love. That's like you riding on a flat. You're gonna break your rims. You got a man you trying to love and he ain't trying to reciprocate and he got all these wild ideas. He's not the one for you. And you done took him to the shop and done got that shit patched and still got a slow leak and you took it there and they plugged the hole and it got flat again. Get rid of that tire. You're gonna break your rim. Get rid of that shit. What are you doing? Are you a psychologist? Are you a psychiatrist? Do you know his family history? Most of us don't go into that until it's too late. You seen his mama? You seen his papa? You seen his uncles and aunts? The nigga crazy. Get his ass up out of there. Move. Get away. Riding on a goddamn 3-wheel car. You're going to break yourself. Just that simple. Not in that space. We don't do that. This ain't no woe is me hug to any black man show. Hell no. Hell no. He's broken. You out of here. You out of here. You saying that, you see, that don't have nothing to do with finances. Nothing to do with it. Because he could be a broken ass man and make more than you. But he don't know how to love. And this is where the conversation really gets to meet. It ain't about that. It ain't about that. We have always, as black men, been chased up out. Hunted. Get them up out of here. They have always designed spaces that we as men would never flourish. You understand? As I tell you all the time, 2 men cannot share the same space and time without a true understanding and love of one another. We can't stand arm in arm with white men to that degree. If they don't see us and want for us what we want for ourselves and our family, we can't share the same space. It's impossible. Men don't operate like that. What's the common goal? If the common goal is to get a goddamn NBA trophy, they can stand together and work together. If it's to win a Super Bowl, they can do that. But when the goal is black women and children, when the goal is building a nation, white and black men are opposite. So we don't stand together. We don't stand together. So whose value system? Whose morals are you being led by? If you're determining that a man is not worthy of you based on Eurocentric standards, you'll never have one. You'll have you a Euro. So where we going? Where we going? Start listening and then figuring out and trying to understand why the conversation is thrown out there. Understand that. This is game. This is game. Excuse me. Now let's move on. This Eboni K broad, whoever she is, I didn't even want to research her. She said some dumb shit a few weeks ago, and it goes viral. Things she say go viral. She done took over for Candace. But as you see, she deals with Euro. She deals with them. And again, love who you love. Love who you love. Love who loves you. No problem with it. Because again, all of us don't have our energy. And all of the Euros don't have a Euro energy. They don't. A lot of them have more of our energy than a lot of us. And that's evident. If you don't believe me, watch Dancing with the Stars and see how them black ass fools code switch. It ain't even a code switch. How they have white energy. You see that black ass bachelorette. And I dare you to believe that she one of us. Can't code switch like that. That ain't code switching. That's an ingrained belief. And that is the belief of a lot of people. 2, 3, 4, 5 times darker than me. And that's what the confusing piece is. People believe that. So this Eboni chick is just wow. Now she said some shit in the past that it was so stupid I forgot it. But this here, when she's saying about you need the engagement ring or the wedding ring coming out of college, like that is what you're supposed to have? Really? That's what's being said. That's what her ass, and she don't have one. Even dealing with the Euros, she don't have one. Ex-fiancés and all this old weird shit, but consistently is shooting shots. And that's just to build that name, to build whatever brand she's associated with. And behind it, I'm guaranteeing you, is funded and financed by some Euro institution. Again, that's why they win. That's why they beat, because they fund it. That's what they do. They fund think tanks. I did the whole build. I showed y'all what is a foundation, right? What is corporations? What are all these other things that they have? Groups and all this other stuff. It's just different names for how they move money. So she says this, and I'm like, coming out of college, them kids still ain't even washing their ass good. Coming out of college, some of them still not even driving good. Just coming out of college and being married. As I said, we don't do that anymore. I haven't seen grandparents. I haven't seen shit. My great-grandfather didn't raise my father to be a husband. We don't raise our kids to be husbands or wives. We don't do that. So now somebody who is just learning themselves, someone who has just taken on a specific field of study, right, is supposed to be ready to go into the institution of marriage. If people don't know, that marriage contract is something serious. You play around if you want to and marry the wrong MFer and see what happens. See exactly what happens. I dare you to say I do to some dumbass. And have him get all up in your little pension. Get all up in your little everything. Play around. Play around. And you talking about for them to do that straight coming out of school? tying each other's student debt, them not going through enough life experience to find out who they are. What kind of dumb shit is that? She's a dummy. She's a dummy. I ain't raised my daughter to be nobody's wife. Haven't. I don't even picture them in that. Come on, why am I worrying about that? It's not my concern. I don't look at her and think her in that manner. That's somebody gonna be somebody's wife. You crazy? That's Euros looking at their children and seeing who they're going to be married to, who they have kids by. What are we doing here? What are we doing? You thinking my daughter like that? At all. But she's laying statement. Where's her kids? Where's her kids? Where's her college-age kids she's going to advise to? So by the time you're in senior year, you're getting your degree, you need to have your ring on. The hell is that? What kind of dumb shit is that? But again, you have people bite and say, you know what, that sounds about right. And no, it don't. It's ignorant. It's the dumbest shit. But when you sitting in a space consistently of attempting to be like the oppressors, then the shit that come out your mouth, right? Come on, you always have people wondering because it doesn't match. It just doesn't match. You know, and people really get it. Don't get up in arms about it. Because you're going to have people who believe that, who rock like that, who are saying that, yeah. Because they don't have, again, knowledge of self. They have no knowledge of self. Their starting point is right here. Their starting point is cowboys and Indians, the Hollywood fictitious movies. Their starting point is our enslavement. Their starting point is the grand expansion, running out west, believing in everything and anything that these people put forth in front of them. That is their starting point. But when you have knowledge of self, when you know that you're a universal being in truth, when you know that we are not limited to this space here, that we are not limited, okay, by what somebody else is determining your worth, you're not trying to hear that dumb shit. You're going to always fight. You're always going to resist. And in that resistance, in that struggle, in that fight, you will find that match. That match will find you. And then you will have your partner. You have to move and understand and stop taking what they put in front of you and saying, here, bon appetit. Here, eat this. It'll make you strong. Here, read this. It'll make you smart. This is what they do. And if you don't have that knowledge, if you don't understand yourself, and you eat that food, or you read that book, or you worship in those spots, you begin to sound dumb to people who are conscious. When you value things because another told you that it was valuable, that's sucker shit. That's how we used to get people with slum jury. That's what we used to do. Go buy a whole bunch of fake ass gold, take it to Canal Street, get it stamped, and go and tell people, yeah, this is $500 chain. Got the rag and you shining it up. Yeah, I'm telling you the value. This is $500. And they say, nah, man, I'll give you $250 for it. And I say, yeah, mister, give me $250 for it because I only spent $1.98. Let me get that. I told you the value of something. That's the same shit when these people tell you the values, the systems of corporate America, of living the American way, of understanding how white folk operate in business. This is what your husband should look like. This is what your wife should look like. These are the goals that you should attain as a family. Because we said so. You sound like a jackass. That's what they sound like. Learn to listen to these conversations. Say, come on, that shit ain't right. And then keep it moving. Then keep it moving. Then you find a class that speaks love to you, that encourages you to believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself and you seek to have values for you to live under, you'll be much more joyful. Trust and believe. You'll be less stressed because you're not trying to measure up to people who don't give a damn whether you measure up to them or not. That's how we must begin, to rebuild relationships between black men and black women. You ask them, what do you value? Why do you value that? Where did you get that from? Your parents, or where did your parents get that from? I don't know. I just believe it. I don't know. You just believe it? It's like the TikTok that's running around where the girl said, oh, you sound misogynistic. And dude said, what is misogynistic? What is that? And she couldn't define it. She looked like a dumbass. So if somebody asks you, what is a successful relationship? Are you happy? What do you look for in a man? What do you look for in a woman? And if your starting point, if in your consciousness you are visualizing what Master said is right and exact, you effed up. Because your queen may be walking past you every damn day. And you'll never see her. Guard your mind. I tell you that. Guard your mind. Okay? Now, let's get to this football, brother. What's his name? Xavier? What's his name? Xavier? And people mad because he got 4? He had 4 women. They all expecting, at the same time. Right? Am I right? When he played for Miami, he got 4 coming at one time. What the problem is? What the problem is? Other than when I seen or researched the name, he got some domestic violence issues and stuff like that. I peeped that. I'm trying to figure out what the problem is. Okay? Y'all let Future run around here. This boy got 8. Nick Cannon. Shorty Low. This is what they do. This is what they do. Some of y'all daddies. Y'all don't want to have this conversation. Some of y'all daddies running around with 2 and 3 and 4 of y'all siblings. Same age at the same time. Let's not start. Let's not start. Okay? You put value. Y'all put value on fame and a bag. Fame and a bag. That's what you put value on. So now every young girl, they're not looking at him and them dreads and all that other shit. He looking at fame and a bag. That's all they looking at. Fame and a bag. And that's just 4 y'all know about. Maybe 4 he know about. Miami? And y'all shot? And y'all shot. That's 4 that y'all know about. And let's not, gotta stop. Gotta stop. Because these young folks are doing a whole lot more. They're doing a whole lot more. And it's not only there. It's there and it's made mention because he's a public figure. They're in the hood. This dude's running around with 2 wooden nickels in the back pocket of their dusty ass jeans. And they got sisters and cousins pregnant at the same time. And that's for real. Little dusty ass black and mild smoking dudes. They got 2 and 3 baby mothers at the exact same time. You can't buy them kids a chopped cheese or no Takis or nothing. We're going to stop that. That goes right back to the first part of class where we're saying what makes an eligible man and how people have different levels. Different levels. So we got 4 coming at once. My concern was, is he light with his hands? You got domestic violence, arrests and allegations and all that. That's where my mind at. Yeah, he could take care of them and he could do what he got to do with them. What are we doing here? You ain't say nothing to 50. Future. Say 50. Future. Nothing in the Cannon. Nothing to Shorty Low. Nothing. And the only reason why you don't hear from Whitey because Whitey don't talk about it. They don't talk about it. They keep that shit under wraps. So Susie, Becky, Sarah, Maggie, they all might have the same damn daddy, baby daddy. Josh, the goddamn beach bum. And he running through the whole town. Y'all don't know. We don't live in their communities like that. But again, prop us up and then start picking at them and saying, ooh, oh, no, oh my goodness, ooh. Y'all just told him he was the man. Right? This is what you do to the boys. Play a sport. Get the bag. Yeah, now you somebody. So when you tell a man he is somebody in a world full of women, what do you think he's going to do? What do you think he's going to do? As we said a few minutes ago, they are not raised to be husbands. You think LeBron was raised to be a husband? He was raised to play ball. He fell into being a husband. Someone whispered in his ear and said that was more beneficial than you running around. He wasn't raised. He was raised to play ball. We got mothers out here raising their sons to be bangers. We got mothers out here raising their sons to be daughters. We got daughters out here trying to figure it out, not being raised. We're not raising them to be marriage material. Many of us wasn't marriage material. So you mad at him after y'all gave him a bag and told him he was a superstar? Can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that. Nah. Can't be mad at that. Only be mad when, again, there's harm coming by way of him to those women and children. Okay, so y'all get me? When we having these conversations, deal with it in real time. Deal with actual reality, not with shit that touches your heart because you've been traumatized by some fools. Because your truth is not everybody's truth. It's just not. And just because you feel it, because you have a feeling, and you believe something in your heart, right? That doesn't make it true. That doesn't make it an actual fact. All right? We have to set our own values. We have to set these things for ourselves. Where did that come from? Real ends care about body count. Can't wife no festival. So that means your body count is low too. I'm just saying. Your body count must be just as low. Because we really macking, we talking about supply and demand. If you're demanding something from someone, if you're demanding a performance, if you're demanding something from somebody, that means you're supplying. That means you're supplying instruction. That means you are supplying all of the factors that's going to make sure that that person meets your demands with quality. So you definitely got to have a low body count, because you got to understand what it is to maintain a low body count, to expect that from that woman. But if you've been running around here like Stink Dick Harold, hitting everything up, you don't have the cognition to even understand and deal with a woman that got a low body count, because you freaked out. And you're going to expect that from somebody who hasn't been running around. That's where the double standard come out and get weird. How you going to want a virgin and you ain't a virgin? How you going to want somebody that had 1 or 2 lovers and you done had 60? How we doing here? That don't match. If it happens to be that way, it happens to be that way. You can't demand that. Where we going at with that? Where we going at with that? You done had 80 different women. They done gave you all the goddamn joy and all type of fantasies and all that shit that you dreamed about. And you gonna get with an egg? Somebody who don't know none of that? And you gonna be content? Come on. Damn, that don't even sound right. That don't sound right. Where we going at? Where we going at with that? And trust, I've been on every spectrum. Nothing you can say. I've been there. I have women in class and on my client list that are professional porn stars, professional track stars. Professional. But again, to each his own. Again, where do you get your belief system from? Where do you get your belief system from? If you inherited a belief system and can't explain why you believe it, like I said, I was raised in Islam. I was raised in Al-Islam. I was raised the son of a 5%er. I was raised the son, as a member of the NOI. I was raised the son of a member of the Sunni community. And in my adulthood, in my coming through and understanding what I was reading, what I was experiencing, how I was feeling, it didn't agree with me. And I said, you know what? With all the good and the understanding that I've learned and know, there's a lot in it that's not right and exact. It's not matching. So I can't keep that. I know it, I understand it, I speak it. There's parts that I live. And there's a lot of that shit you got to push to the side. So that was an inherited belief because it wasn't something that I grew up and found. That was inherited. So if you inherited beliefs from the Euro on what you believe is a pure and chaste woman, when those women that he raised is animalistic, then you got to question yourself. You have to question yourself. Okay? But look, this is after hours. This is beyond me. West Coast, I know y'all happy, but this is beyond me. I have to take it down because, again, I have to work. I have to find these funds to get this symposium off the ground. As I said, we're making an attempt to do it in Connecticut, in the casino, in the hotel, right there by the Tangent outlets. We're making an attempt to have a full-blown in-person anger management event. And that's going to cost a little penny. So I need that. I got to find funds, and the only way I can do it is to work, because I don't get it from here. So I got to work. I got to get assessments, sessions. I got to get all that up so I can do this, because I'm making an attempt to do it before the goddamn snow come. And then people won't be able to travel, won't want to travel up to get there. So I got to take it down. Yeah, I got to take it down. I got to take it down. You know, y'all see the gray. I need that rest, you know, because that's the only way, you know, black don't crack. I get to keep it together if I'm rested, you know. Somebody try to get me for my 77. Somebody try to get me for my 77. You dig? Yes, once again, the funding is an issue. The dates, not so much. I can lock a date in because I have a plug there, but it's the funds and figuring out how much is the cost and how we're moving on it, the logistics and stuff. So, you know, shit, I want to do it as soon as possible because people been asking for that. And if we can do it and in the same event, network, and really build and speak about issues that we're dealing with around the country, and where we can pull together and start really building each other where we are. It doesn't take much, right? Everybody's in different spots. Everybody is scattered. But if we can start building and employing strategies and actually manifesting that, we can put a dent in a lot of the bullshit that we're going through. So that's where it's at, to really get it out there, to build with people who, you know, want to achieve that goal of liberation, and really find some security in this offbeat world. All right? So again, thank you all for coming through. and dialoguing and in class and attentive and engaged is much appreciated. Okay. Come on, man. Let's build this. Let's build this fun as war effort. Let's do what we do. And again, I'm telling you, if anybody, anyone is in need of services, don't care what it is, reach out, book assessment, book your sessions, right? Get some of this personalized coaching, should need be, okay? You dig? Don't think you're alone. That's one thing I keep telling y'all. You can never say that you had no one. You might not have had no one in the past, but you got somebody right here. All right? Again, peace.